Venezuela's president has accused the U.S. of refusing to provide visas for a delegation going to the UN next week. Nicolas Maduro was also apparently refused permission to fly through American airspace to get to China. Venezuela's foreign ministry said these incidents were an act of aggression and a violation of international law. RT's Marina Portnaya reports.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's flight plan to China was denied. That's according to Foreign Minister Elias Hawa. He said Washington prohibited the plane from passing through U.S. airspace over Puerto Rico, forcing the world leader to find an alternate path. Now, while speaking to reporters about the incident, Foreign Minister Hawa denounced the move as a, quote, act of aggression on the part of North American imperialism against the Venezuelan government, unquote. President Maduro was due to arrive in Beijing this weekend for bilateral talks with the Chinese government, and Venezuelan officials insist that Mr. Maduro will reach his destination despite the interference. Now, Foreign Minister Hawa argues that no country can deny airspace to a plane carrying a president on an international state visit. He also added that he expects the U.S. to rectify this situation. Now, this is the latest incident will no doubt bring animosity to the already strained relations between Washington and Caracas. Let's remember that the United States and Venezuela have not had ambassadors in each other's capitals since 2008. That's when the former Venezuelan president, Hugo Chavez, evacuated the American envoy from his country, accusing the U.S. of backing a group of military officers he said were plotting against him. Now, the U.S. responded at the time by expelling Venezuela's ambassador. And also just a few months ago in July, President Maduro announced that his government was halting attempts to improve relations with the U.S. Now, that move was in response to comments made by the newly appointed U.S. ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power, who told a Senate committee that her new role would include challenging the, quote, crackdown on civil society, unquote, abroad, including Venezuela. Well, we've already heard from Bolivian President Evo Morales, who has called on Latin American countries to recall their ambassadors from the U.S. in response to this recent incident. Now, President Morales was caught in a similar situation this summer when several European Union countries denied their airspace to his jet. Now, that's allegedly because the U.S. suspected that NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden was on board President Morales' airplane. Now, the Bolivian leader had to land in Austria after Portuguese authorities wouldn't let the president's plane land for refueling in Lisbon. French authorities also wouldn't let the plane enter their airspace. Mr. Morales says the latest incident against the Venezuelan president demonstrates the U.S.'s predisposition to humiliate other governments.